This is part 3 of Don't Make Mistakes with Your University Essay. My name's Alex Patel, and this is a Weird Edutainment Bite. Don't skip editing and proofreading. A lot of students do, but what problem does that cause? Well, when the marker comes to it, they firstly find it harder to make sense of your argument because you haven't refined it and clarified it with an editing process. And secondly, they see lots of errors dotted around. Perhaps it's poor referencing, perhaps it's grammatical mistakes or typos, but those things indicate that you haven't spent enough time on your essay, that your finishing has lacked precision. And so if that part has lacked precision, your early research and your argument may well also lack precision as well. There are two elements to editing and proofreading. The first is refining your argument. So this is a simple way of working through that. You've got your draft in front of you. Look at the first paragraph. What's the key point you're trying to communicate? What's the evidence to support that? Just jot these down next to it on a piece of paper. How does it link back to that essay question? So repeat this for each of your sections or your paragraphs in the essay. Now, when you read back through it, it should create a nice structure. Do the paragraphs flow in a nice order? Or are you finding that there's repetition? Perhaps paragraph 1 and paragraph 3 are actually talking about the same thing. So maybe you could combine them or at least put them together. So it's not a big jump from one topic to another topic and back to the same topic for the reader. Once you're happy with the overall argument and the logical flow through your essay, you can then look at individual sentences. So here we're trying to improve the clarity, make it easier for the reader to understand what you're trying to say. So if you've got any really long sentences, so anything over 2 to 3 lines long, then you'd want to either shorten those or split them into 2 different sentences. Look through again and try to swap out any convoluted, confusing words or language and make it more direct. And you might find that actually in a lot of sentences, you've got a number of words that don't add anything that you could actually cut out and the meaning of the sentence would still be the same. So get rid of those redundant words as well. It just makes it simpler for the reader and it keeps you within your word count. So as we're going through our writing process, you start off with a jumble of ideas and gradually it becomes sorted, it becomes arranged, presented nicely. And finally, after you've developed that argument and you've edited it, we get a wonderful story that is so much more than the original data and reading that you had. Now, the last thing you need to do when you're on the winning straight, so really you should be quite motivated at this point just to get this finished off and done, is the proofreading and the reference checking. So once you're happy with your structure and the content and you're not going to be deleting any big paragraphs or chunks of writing, that's the point when you go through and fine check individual words and sentences. So you're looking for grammatical mistakes, typos, and think about any of the common mistakes you tend to make. So do you always put the wrong there in? Do you misspell certain words? Look for those in particular. And the last thing you need to do is the reference checking. So anytime you're talking about somebody else's research or making a statement about something which has been proven, then you need to have a citation. So check you're doing it in the right format for your department, and then check that that citation is included in the full reference list at the end of your work. So our last challenge is, of course, to get a hold of one of your paragraphs and go through and try applying these editing and proofreading tips with it. So if you like these videos or have any thoughts, then please do comment and share these videos with others. The last thing to say is that this is a bit of a taster, a bit of an introduction or a whistle-stop tour of some of the biggest mistakes and how to avoid them with essay writing. But this will only get you so far. The next step is to really move from having a descriptive essay where you're talking about other people's research and trying to explain it to the reader, to really using some critical analysis, comparing, contrasting, analysing, evaluating, and pushing your work further. And that's what gets you from a 2-2 or a low 2-1 through to a first class essay mark. And if you're interested in taking that next step, then have a look at our course, Elevate Your Essays. The link is in the comments below. Hope to see you soon. Thanks.